We are back. I'm Ben,
I'm Vince.
and we're back. Well,
Not quite back.
not quite back. So I've done lives here on this channel before. Vince is new to this channel. He's not new to the other Central Florida channel,
Correct.
but this channel is coming back. If you guys haven't seen me in a while, I'm sorry. I was bad. Haven't been here, but we're back. We're here to bring you guys Central Florida stuff. It was more based around Lakeland, and what happened is I just ran out of stuff to talk about in Lakeland because a video a week, and I did a couple lives here. Just completely ran out and focused on the other channel. But now we're doing Central Florida between Tampa, Orlando, everywhere in between, and we've got some noise down here. So we are just going to talk about what's going on in Central Florida instead of just
Exactly.
Lakeland. So we're not going to not talk about Lakeland anymore, but there is so much more to Central Florida and this whole little area to talk about than just Lakeland. So
You've got so many places, so many things that you can talk about, and that's what we're going to do. We're
Yeah.
going to broaden our perspective.
Yeah. So we're back. I'm sorry. I didn't forget about you guys because you've always been on the back of my mind. But I didn't have anything to show you because I showed you everything, all the new homes. I mean, I could go out and do resales, but resales, they're here and then they're gone, and there's problems with them, and there's inspection problems, which isn't a bad thing. But I can help you with resales. I was actually just in Lake Wales. I got here. We were running late, looking at some resales with guy moving in from Baltimore, ready to come to Central Florida. Not against them, just there was some water damage in the ceiling and just more stuff to look at versus the new stuff. So we're going to cover a little bit of everything, and we're here to answer any questions that you guys have. Love to help make your move here. So Vince, what do you want to talk about first?
Let's talk about Winter Haven.
Let's
Now,
talk about Winter Haven.
I was in Auburndale earlier today. We'll talk
Yeah,
about
okay.
Auburndale another time.
Yeah, okay.
But I lived in Lakeland for over 30 years.
Yep.
Okay. And about 5 years ago, we decided to up and move to Winter Haven. Probably been the best move we've made.
Yeah.
I love Lakeland. I love living what used to be out in the country. So when
Yeah.
I bought my house in Lakeland, it was like 91.
Mm-hmm.
And so where I was at, it was actually country. It ain't country now. And so it's, you've got all the new builders coming in, building apartment complexes, building, communities and the whole 9 yards. And it got to the point where I couldn't step out my front door without seeing a line of cars.
Yeah.
And so we moved to Winter Haven, and Winter Haven has been absolutely fantastic. Now, just like a lot of places in Central Florida, you're looking at about a 12% difference between cost of living, cost of homes, that kind of a thing, across the board.
Yep.
So you've got cheaper taxes, you've got homes that are not quite as expensive as what you would find in like Tampa or Orlando.
Right. Yep.
And you've got a lot more room to move around. You've got pieces of property. Now, if you're going for a new build, you're looking at 50, 60, 75 feet across.
Yep. How wide the lot is, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, some of them are done at 40.
Right.
So they're cramming them in, but they go up, they get bigger.
Yeah, and there's
some
other.
places.
If you've got the money to spend, you can find builders that have got quarter-acre lots.
Yeah.
And those are really nice.
Yeah.
They've got enough room to put a pool in, all of that. So for me, Winter Haven has been great. Now, it doesn't have what some of the big cities have.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have a lot of the shopping and that kind of thing.
So
If you're-
Costco, Trader Joe's.
exactly, or the Sam's or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But you can find those within half an hour.
Yep. There's a BJ's at Posner Park in
Yeah.
Davenport.
Yeah, and that's another half an hour or so.
Yeah. Depending
from
on where
Winter
you are at
Haven.
Winter Haven.
Yeah.
Or
So,
there's a
you
Sam's
can
in
get to
Lakeland.
it.
Yeah.
And we love, there's two different movie theaters we love to go to. For the family, we love to go to the one in North Lakeland.
Yep.
Okay. And I think that's an AMC. I'm pretty sure it's an AMC. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure, yeah.
But that one's fantastic. But then for like a couple's night out, we like to go to the Cineplex or Cinepolis
Yeah.
in Davenport at the Posner Park.
Yep.
And that one you can get, drinks, do
Right.
all of that.
You got food.
But Winter Haven is, especially around the Legoland area, really quiet.
Yeah, I can pull
really
up while we're talking
safe.
about it here.
Yeah, during the hurricane, the last hurricane, we lost power for about maybe 5 days, 4 days, something like that. And we actually had our windows open the whole time, even at nighttime, not a problem. Where I came from originally in Ybor City, that would have been an invitation to get stabbed.
Yeah.
You know, there just wouldn't have been no way that I could have done that.
Yeah. So Winter Haven's here, you know, kind of in between Orlando, Tampa. I see a lot of people talking about it because it is a lot more affordable. And then you don't see all this red on here. Can we see that past us? Yeah, all this red
you
up
can see
here.
it.
at
You can see
I-4.
the red, definitely.
Yeah, I made my cursor blue, so it's a little easier to see. I should have made it red. And if I wiggle it, it'll get big. So see there, all up here. You know, we don't have that down here, and it's not too hard to get up to Orlando or to get to
Right.
Tampa. And you can buy a whole lot more house here, and the property taxes are lower. We're going to get into a little bit more of that a little bit later. But there's just, you know, easy access to a lot of stuff right outside. I was born in Winter Haven. I've been here my whole life. I'm 40. I moved to the coast for a little bit, came back. Yeah, Milton came. I think the eye came over basically us.
Right.
And you know, a lot of people over here in Tampa had to evacuate. It is scarier being over on the coast. Here, there was a comment that I missed on this channel. Somebody, you know, said because I say 80, 90 miles to the coast over here. They're saying, well, the west side of Lakeland is only 25 miles from the east side of Tampa Bay, and yeah, that's true. But a storm would have to basically just
Barrel.
it would have to do what Milton did.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen a whole lot. Normally, they normally come in a little lower. So,
Well, the other thing too is, you know, you've got the storm surge in the coast, and that's really where most of the
storm
damage
surge,
comes
yes,
from.
Definitely.
And then, you know, you've got, there were places in Lakeland that definitely did flood, but they didn't flood so much because of the storm as much as they did because of the sewage system not being able to meet the demand.
Yeah.
But in Winter Haven, you know, especially around the Legoland area where I live, you know, we had some branches down.
Yeah.
Some of the $1 million homes that had like 10 acres with nothing but oak trees,
Right.
they had a ton of branches down.
Right, yeah.
Leaves everywhere. But that was pretty much it.
Yeah. So here in the middle, and there's a lot. We've got some data here we can go over. This is the Lakeland Winter Haven metro sales area. Let me make that. Here's what's looking like. It is slower this year than it was last. We're down 11% for September in closed sales.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you this. I know my answer to this, but I'm going to ask you this. This year has been an odd year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we had a slowdown because of the interest rates at the beginning of the year. Then we, you know, got fully into the election year.
Yep.
How much, like I said, I know my own answer. I'm going to ask you, between the rates, the interest rates, and the election, do you think that's where a lot of this malaise is coming from?
I think so.
Yeah,
I
I do too.
And the stock market jumped. How much did it jump? The stock market did like this after
the election.
After the election. So that we've talked to a lot of you guys, and that's wait until the election. Wait till the election, and we can help you either way. If you're selling to leave, we can help you. If you're excited to come to Florida, we can help you.
Right.
You know, it's not a politics channel. We're not going to sit and talk politics all day. But we talk to a lot of you guys. You guys call, or you're signed up on the website. We reach out, see if you need any help.
Exactly.
I don't care. We're just here to help. We're real estate people. That's what we do.
Well, the only reason I brought that up is because it didn't really matter what party you were rooting for.
Mm-hmm.
It was still an issue.
Right.
Because not knowing the direction the country is going in makes people want to tighten up
Everybody's
until
scared.
they see what's going to happen. And once they see one direction or the other,
Mm-hmm.
then they tend to settle down and they move forward, and that's where we're at now.
Yep. So and then you can see the rest of the data here. Median sales price is slightly down, almost 1%. Active inventory is up
Way up.
pretty significantly, but I think a lot of that was because inventory was so low. Like 2020, 2021. I mean,
Yeah.
you put a dumpster fire house on the MLS and you had 52 people wanting to look at it. They had cash. They didn't care about an inspection. They didn't care about an appraisal. They had a work from home from their job.
Yep.
And they had wanted to move to Florida, and nothing mattered. School zones didn't matter. Neighborhoods didn't matter. Nothing mattered. And it was insanity. So these numbers are going to be a little bit weird. I think I could pull up the stats on MLS and we could see where that falls when you take out the whole
yeah.
COVID madness 20.
I'll tell you
21.
this real quick. I had a lady very sweet lady from Tennessee.
Yeah.
She had sold her house. She had $200,000 burning a hole in her pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And she called me up and said, Vince, I need you to help me. I need you to help me find a house.
Yeah.
So I thought we were going to do the normal. We'll go out, take a look, She said, no. She goes, by the end of this weekend,
Yeah, it's done.
I need to be under contract.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. We showed 11 homes, put 6 offers, got 3 accepted, and then picked one of those, and that's where she's living now.
And that's a crazy way to
insane.
do things too. So, but that was how it was. You had to do so much. I'm glad it's not like that anymore, because that was just.
Now it's the opposite,
yeah.
though. Yeah, now it's the opposite.
Yeah.
Now you've got people who were thinking that they're still back in 2021.
Yeah.
They're overpricing their homes,
Yeah,
and the homes
home
are on the
sellers,
market
yeah.
for 150, 180 days.
Yeah, it's critical to get. You have to be. I don't say the cheapest home in the neighborhood, but you have to be priced right. You have to really
yeah.
consider. It's all about price. It's price, location, and condition. And the
Yep.
easiest one to fix is price. So, if you're looking, and I do talk a lot about new homes here. We do resales. I was showing homes to a couple in Lake Wales this week, and resales in Lake Ashton today. I just got back here. We were a little bit late putting everything back together, getting ready for this. We can still do resales, but it's just there's so much more that you have to worry about. But builders are offering all these incentives.
Exactly.
If you see a home on the market that's been on the market for 60 days or 70 days or
You might be able to get a little bit more.
Yeah,
You
can
may
say,
not be able to get a giant deal, but you might be able to get a better
you
deal.
can say, hey, here's the offer. We can see obviously you haven't
Exactly.
been under contract. Nothing's happening out here. It's slow, especially if that home is vacant. If the sellers have already moved and now they might be carrying 2 mortgages.
Right.
That's not cheap to
There's
do.
always ways to deal with that.
Yeah, so you can look, you can find a deal there. Like I said, I do talk on this channel almost exclusively about new construction, because you can come. A lot of you guys are in different states. You can come here to Florida, move in, explore the area, and not have to worry about, I'm gonna have to replace the roof in a year. I'm gonna have to AC is 8 years old and it might be going bad, or
Everything is
electrical
new.
this.
Everything
Yeah,
is
so-
ready to go, and you've got 20, 25 years before you have to do anything major.
Yep. But I mean, if you are okay with coming in and doing that, that's fine. It's just another. Everybody's different. So.
Right. And I mean, as far as retail goes, there's a lot of ways to mitigate retail to make sure that you don't get screwed over.
Right. Yep.
But it's not the same as going into a new home build
Yep.
where you know the price, you know what you're getting,
Yep.
depending on the builder, you know the quality.
Right, and
And so
how
there's
old
no-
everything is.
Right.
because it's all
There's
new.
nothing hidden from you.
Yep.
Whereas when you get into retail, did they tell you everything about the house?
Yeah.
Did they tell you about that subtle crack in the foundation
Right,
that you can't see?
So the one we looked at today, we went back out. Judy, if you're watching this, I don't think you are, because you were probably on my other channel. But if you are watching, Judy, hi, good to see you again 10 minutes later. We went back to look at a townhome or a villa in Lake Ashton that we had already seen, and it was the top contender. But we went back in and we looked at it a little bit harder. It's off the list.
Yep.
There was above the stairs, the ceiling comes down and there's a crack and the whole thing was
Oh.
wobbling. And there was too much little stuff that's just like the bar top in the kitchen was cracked. You know what that means? You got to replace. If you wanted to match, you have to replace everything.
Yeah, you can't
Because
just
that
replace
whole-
one part.
Right, that's an older. It's 23 years old. You couldn't find that same countertop, so either your upper bar top would not match the rest,
Right.
or you have to do all of it. So it's just like, man, we got to do the floors, we got to repaint. Now we have to do counters. Now we have to do whatever is wrong with that ceiling coming down over the stairs.
It's like when there's a crack in the bathroom tile.
Yep.
Well, if they don't have
second
tile
one
to
we saw,
replace it with,
that tile all through there.
and then even if they do, you've got one brand new piece of tile against
fresh grout.
exactly
Yeah.
it looks like crap.
And again, not saying that resales are bad, because there's a lot of resales. It's a whole.
There are some really nice, but they all have problems.
Yeah. if you're looking for a pool home, let's go look at resales, because that is the way to get a deal. Because a new pool today starts at 80, and on an appraisal it adds 15. It adds 15 grand. So
it doesn't work out.
Yeah, unless you love a new home. If you're looking for pool homes, let's look at resales. And if that doesn't make sense, we can't find one that doesn't make sense, because there's so much inventory's up almost 50%. So there's this right here there's pool homes in here that we could go look at. So that's just part of what you got to deal with. And
Exactly.
a pool is.
But on the new home side, the builders are building like crazy.
Yeah.
They have not stopped building.
But I'm going to jump an article here. I'll rearrange. Redfin saying, as a country, now this is in Florida, new construction falls to a 3-year low. And if you want to get the full, why this matters, if you want to get the full details on this, you'd have to go watch my live from 2 weeks ago on my other channel, where we talked about how one analyst thinks that we are 15 million homes short to make it where it was supposed to be. Like the inventory that we're supposed to be at right now, we should have 15 million more homes in the country to make this market more affordable and things be better.
Exactly.
So we should have done this on the other channel talking about this, but again, this is for the entire country. I think that Florida is probably, they're still pushing a lot of homes out up here.
Yeah.
But being down, it's not good. We need to keep pumping out new homes, I feel like. So yeah, just want to do that little jump.
Well, nationally, I think Florida is still pretty much, we're doing what we can do.
Yeah.
We're building everywhere, and it doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, even with rates, what we looking at here, new pending sales are still up 988, and that's up a little bit. Dollar volume is down, but stuff is still moving. It's not a dead market by any means. And let's hop over and let me scroll through here. Let's look at Tampa and just kind of compare these numbers. Tampa, St. Petersburg. So our median sales price here in the Lakeland Winter Haven area, $328. Let's apply this over and see here. We're looking at 408. And that's a pretty big area that kind of bumps. If you can see the map right over here, it bumps right up to Polk County. That's like Pasco, Hillsborough, and all that. Dollar volume is way higher than our number, but it is down 20% to $1.4 billion in closed sales. So inventory still up 48%. So it'll be interesting to see what's going on. After we get through the holidays, because a lot of people don't want to do anything during the holidays, but people still every day. You go on the MLS and you look at closed sales. Every single day there are homes selling.
Next month, I'll guarantee you these numbers are going to definitely shift down.
Yeah.
Because of the hurricanes.
Probably.
Because we had the hurricanes in October and November.
Yeah, there's one out there right now. It's not going to get us. Let me hop over here and talk about Mike's weather page and see what Raphael is doing. And this is the hurricane channel. Yeah, this is the outer bands here. But he, it looked like it might come up and mess up our weekend. But where's the satellite? We're November 8th.
Yep.
With a category 2, how they're turning into. Man, I don't know. That's got a pretty well-defined eye there. That's, the other thing that I like about being here, Central Florida, is that we're a little bit protected from this. You can see, we're over here. So it was kind of overcast and rainy today because of this thing, and it's way out to sea. You can barely see that because we're in the way.
Well, let's get out of the way.
Yeah, that's right. We're dodging this hurricane. This is what we look at. So hurricane season is wrapping up, thankfully. But yeah, even when there is a named storm in the no bind box, it's somewhere on here, but if there's a named storm, it's bigger than this. But if there's a named storm in this box, you cannot get insurance. So that probably slowed down some stuff. But enough about hurricanes. I've talked to death about hurricanes on lives lately. Let's go and talk about, this is a Florida Realtor article best Florida cities to retire. Miami, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa are rated best. And a lot of you guys watching are looking at retiring here, and that is because you don't have to shovel snow. We don't have to shovel sunshine because we get a lot of sun, but you don't have to go out there and shovel that stuff. And we have 1,350 miles of coastline. So you can pick a different beach every weekend if going to the beach is your thing. If it's not your thing, don't go up to the springs or go to the state parks or go to the county parks. 233 sunny days a year. I don't really have to tell everybody why it's called the Sunshine State. We don't really need to talk about it here. I just wanted to bring that up. And that
You've got excellent fishing.
Yep.
And if you're not a saltwater fisherman, you've got excellent bass fishing. There's lakes everywhere.
Yep. Awesome. Every kind of fishing. I mean, there's here in the Winter Haven chain, there's a bass tournament. I don't want to say every weekend, but a lot out in Lake Wales.
Pretty much all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Camp Mac is a huge thing. The other big reason a lot of people are interested in this is these no taxes right here. No income tax, no estate tax, no inheritance tax. Saves a ton of money for financial planning, for estate planning. That's a lot of people are coming here. This goes on talking about how Jeff Bezos just moved here. Amazon from Washington, I think he was, something like that. Came down to Miami. He sold $15.7 billion worth of Amazon stock, sidestepping $1.1 billion in taxes because he moved down here. That's just crazy.
The only downside to Florida is going to be homeowners insurance.
Yeah.
But from my customers, from what I've heard, when you're paying $10,000 a year in property taxes, plus you're paying your homeowners insurance, plus your mortgage, everything else, and you come down here and you save $10,000 just by moving.
Right.
Just by moving down here and buying something, it's almost like free money.
Yeah.
You don't have to work. You don't have to worry about working any harder or getting any more out of your retirement or your Social Security or whatever they get.
Yep.
You're just coming here, and maybe the homeowners insurance costs a little bit more, but when you look at the difference, the price of the homes are cheaper. You're not having to pay all those property taxes. Right. It becomes a completely different animal.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts here, and if you are watching and you do want to go into that, a lot of that is a little bit more out of our realm anyway. We can get you with a CPA. We're definitely not.
Yeah, and I'm not giving you advice.
I'm
just letting you know that there are some things that I have seen.
Right.
So.
Yeah, we don't have to pay different taxes that a lot of people do. And then going on and talking about this article is baby boomers fuel home buying in these cities. And I think it's 6, 7, and 8 are all around. Yeah, Jacksonville, Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater. So and Orlando. So 7 and 8, we're right in there in the middle. And what I think is kind of interesting that they've brought up here is total number of baby boomer mortgages. I can't talk this evening. I've been talking all day. 2023 was 19,000. I think that this number is only a fraction of what the actual baby boomers buying here are, because a lot of them are coming in with equity from the sale in these other states. And we sold our home for $1.5 million, and then they're buying for $400 down here. You're not getting a loan on that. So, I feel like that's a different number. Same thing here. Orlando, Kissimmee, Sanford, 13,000. I could be off, but
a lot of people have made like a mint off of the homes up north. So they're selling homes that they purchased for $200,000-300,000 for $1 million, 1.5. They're
more.
Coming down here and they're seeing home prices, brand new homes, for less than half of that. $450,000, $500,000 for a gorgeous home.
Yep. And the weather's better. And I don't want to talk hurricanes to death. If a hurricane's coming, you can get out of here. You don't have to stay here. Even when Milton came through, I have friends that left. They're like, nope, that looks too scary. Bye. And 3 days before, it was a Category 5 over by the Yucatan Peninsula, and they're like, I think I'm gonna leave. And you can do that. Board the house up, or don't. Just take off.
Just leave.
Yeah, you got a new house with dual pane windows and all that. You might not even need to board up. It's just for the flying debris is what I worry about.
Right.
The newer windows, they're rated for like 130 or 140. So you're much better off, and the newer neighborhoods typically don't have a million trees everywhere. So a lot of different stuff there. I'm not surprised. I mean, Winter Haven has been a snowbird area
For
my
years.
entire life. Out in Lake Ashton, I don't know the exact numbers of how many people out there are snowbirds, but they have RV coach homes where you can drive your coach down, back it in, hook it up, go, and then you're home. And then
Exactly.
drive it back up north, and same thing. I mean, there's even an airstrip out in Frostproof where there's snowbirds that they just hop in their plane, fly down, home's here.
There's a
time to
little
go.
FBO in Lakeland off of County Line Road and
The
what is it?
Lakeland
Shepherd.
Airfield or whatever it's called.
Yeah. You can have your plane in your
Yep.
big garage
Right,
in
yep.
your home, because I had an employee years ago that was able to do that. He
Yep.
had a plane and he would just taxi it down the runway and take off.
Bye. And then when you're ready to come back, come on back.
Yeah, come home.
So let's hop back over here. We looked at Tampa, we looked at Winter Haven, Lakeland. Then let's run back up just out of curiosity to Orlando. Up to 435. So that's what was Winter Haven was 330s. Orlando adds $100,000.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
and that's
inventory.
where a lot of people are finding their difficulty with Orlando.
And that's why a lot of people are coming over here to more of Central Florida versus Tampa, Orlando, because it's not hard to get over there. But
And a lot of the people that are wanting to buy in Orlando, they're shying away from the prices, are looking at Davenport.
a lot of
A
Davenport.
lot of Davenport.
Yep. Davenport for sure has a lot going on because you're like, depending on where you are in Davenport, just like within, like Lakeland is 75 square miles, so it can take 30 minutes to go from one end of Lakeland to the other. Same thing with Davenport, probably 20 minutes to go from one side, but
Right.
you can be 20 minutes to Disney in Davenport in a $260,000 townhome. Or, of course, you can spend $700,000 on a new single family. You can spend $1.5 million.
There's townhomes in not quite the Disney area, but close to it. Doctor Phillips,
Yep.
Champions Gate, and whatnot. They're $400,000 or $500,000
Yep.
for a townhome. Now, granted, they're absolutely
They're gorgeous,
gorgeous,
yeah.
but my gosh!
Yep. And that's
And
what
you could buy a house, not to interrupt, but you could buy a house in Davenport that's like a 4 or 5 bedroom for that.
And I'm going to get into that's why we're switching this from Lakeland to Central Florida, because we're going to go over that
Exactly.
here a little bit more and get a little bit more variety for you guys, because there's only so much really that I can show you. Lakeland is almost done. I mean, there's no big projects that I've seen really coming up beside Hawthorne Ranch. I don't have any more content to talk. I mean, go out and do updates, but that's not really helping you guys. So we're going to kind of branch east and west, north and south a little bit, and kind of all along that I-4 corridor,
Right.
and show you what's there, what the options are, because
Exactly.
you might not want one of these more affordable homes. You might want to be closer to downtown Tampa or to Orlando, and you might want to spend $600,000. We can do that here. I have on my other channel, might have to repurpose some of the footage, Dr. Phillips, beautiful Pulte homes starting at 700 going to 1.3. I've got another video that I did kind of the same area, Ovation at Westgate, which is that Orlando stuff. Toll Brothers home starting at $1 million, absolutely gorgeous. I didn't post that video because they are not going to have anything for sale. They are sold out until the beginning of next year. And I did that video 3 months ago. I went up there, filmed beautiful homes, absolutely beautiful homes.
And if you don't mind the drive, I just did 2 homes in Auburndale at Lake Juliana.
Yep.
One of them was 2,200 square feet. One of them was 3,000 square feet.
Yep.
The 2,200 square foot home was 4 bedroom, 2.5 bath with a 2-car garage, and it went for $435 to $448, somewhere's in there.
Yep.
And then the other one, the 3,000 square foot home, was 4 bedroom with 3 baths, 2-car garage, and it went for $550, a little bit under $550.
And they have some waterfront lots that you could buy
Yes.
in there and build on the lake. And I mean, those homes, those resale homes in there are over $1 million.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, those are beautiful. And then we even have, I don't think it's on this channel, the racetrack. There's a racetrack not far from there, Circuit, Florida, where they have condos. So if you're a car nut, you can keep your race cars, your track cars, in your garage at your condo
Yep.
on the racetrack, right off of I-4. And what was cool about that community, I need to go back out there, you could live there. So if you're a big car nut,
And I doubt that anybody is going to give you problems because you're tuning up your car.
no, I mean, that's what
That's what it's there
That's
for.
what it's there for. They're not, oh, somebody's out. That video is on my other channel, did absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I had people calling me. I had to take my phone number off of there because the developer isn't working. He wouldn't let me bring somebody out there.
Right.
So I was like, hey, you got to call the developer. Now, shame on the developer because he was not returning phone calls. So people were calling me like, hey,
He's not doing anything. You know,
right,
what's
well,
going on?
I should run back out there. Hey, let me help you with this because I'm getting people that are saying they're not getting phone calls back from you because I answer my phone. When you guys call, I answer my phone because that's what, call me, text me, all my contact information down below, like it always is. We're here to help. It doesn't matter what you're looking for.
Yep.
I am here to solve your problem of finding the house here. So is Vince. This is what we do, is find these homes. And I wish that I could sell them because they were stunning. And I'll have to go out, make a new update video, and we'll put it here on this channel because they're Tampa, Orlando, and Miami. I remember those three. I had calls from there probably weekly for the first month and a half that video was out.
Really?
And some people from out of state, but because that is an easy, if you want to be in Tampa, but you want to go because there's the racetrack over in Tampa, you can't actually stay there.
Okay.
I forget what it's called, but it's right off of I-4. But you cannot overnight there. Where Circuit Florida, you can live there. Like you could make that your primary residence. So Orlando, Tampa, hop right on I-4 and you were there. So they might be close to sold out there. There wasn't a whole lot going on.
That's the other thing that I really love about Central Florida. Given the fact that Central is in its name, you have so many ways to get into Tampa, get into the East Coast, the West Coast, get into Orlando, and now they're building that extension to the 570 Parkway that's going to go out to 60.
Yep.
And so you have so many different ways to be able to jump on to a fast-moving interstate and get where you want to go. Now, granted, I-4 doesn't really always move fast, but
that's a con.
hey,
That's a con to live
you
in
get
here.
the idea. It's
a
faster
pro and
than
a con.
walking.
Right? Yeah. It is.
Horses are much slower.
Yeah. And the train is even slower, I feel like. So yeah, there's a lot of options. Anybody? Don's back. Hey Don, thanks for coming in and watching. How'd you do through the hurricane? Was it? I forget which one you were talking to me on. I think that was Helene. How'd you do during Milton, Don? Was that worse for you, or were you talking to me during Milton? I can't remember. They were so blurred together. Hurricane. I don't want to beat hurricanes to death, but we aren't really beating hurricanes to death because I haven't talked about them on this channel. So we could talk about them a little bit more. But hurricane season is winding down.
Yeah. Well, hurricane season's winding down, and since this is a new home channel, the one thing to remember is that we covered this when we did the hurricane thing on the other channel, but the builders and the how can I put this? The way that the construction is done now, and the way that they try to mitigate damage from hurricanes with these new builds. We saw damage in Cedar Key.
Yeah.
And brand new homes were standing while other homes were, in the gutter. I mean, they were just completely flattened.
Yeah.
So these brand new builds, they're built to withstand, high winds. They're built to withstand all the rain. I'm not saying it's perfect, but the new builds are just something else.
Not only that, the new homes are planned. Like here, we call it Swift Mud, but it's a Southwest Florida Water Management District.
Correct.
Everything is planned and engineered, and it has to be double stamped by 2 engineers.
Yeah.
The drainage, the retention ponds, where these older communities and neighborhoods, it was almost kind of willy-nilly, where they were just like, do whatever, who cares?
Well, they had different specs back then.
They had different.
And so everything is
Code
built
was different.
according to the age of the home.
Yep. Now we have underground utilities, so it's, you were without power for 5 days because the power lines
Exactly.
are above ground. Now, if something happens outside of the neighborhood, that's different. You know, and a lot of the people are like, I wish there were trees in this neighborhood, but a new community with maintained trees, when they grow in, it's not going
Right.
to matter because they can fall and not take out your power because it's all
Exactly.
underground. So, good thing there. And then, like I said, the windows are more hurricane rated. They're 140 miles an hour, I think. So there's just a really big difference on a 70s home. I live in a 70s home, and to be quite honest, I don't like it. I don't like it.
It'll make you a bit nervous.
Yeah,
It'll make you a bit
You know,
nervous.
I boarded up the windows. Now we do have a little bit of land, so I do worry about, you know, if a tornado were to send some limbs or something like that, and I have a big live oak tree in my front yard that makes me nervous. But we boarded up the windows.
Right.
On a new home, I wouldn't have worried about it.
Yeah.
So it's just
Yeah, I mean,
a whole
we're
different
my
thing.
wife and I were wanting to get a home on the lake, and
Mm-hmm.
we're looking, but it's just not the right time yet because the prices have still been way too high. But I'm going to be honest with you, I wouldn't mind a 70s home if it was on a lake.
Yeah,
That
That's-
gives me the opportunity to do the things that I like.
right. But that's why we are in a 70s home, because it's on some land, so my wife can have
Exactly.
horses and animals. Because the last video that I posted on here, I absolutely love that neighborhood. It's in my wife and I talked about it. We would have moved to Hudson. We talked about, I'm like, man, homes on 2 to 5 acres.
Oh yeah.
They're set back 55 feet off of the road, so you're back in. It's a 500-acre community. If you haven't seen it on this channel, go back. It's the last video that I did.
Yep.
2 to 5 acres. I'm holding the house up like this, and it says 2 to 5 acres. Absolutely stunning. And because my wife and I aren't going to move in there, I want to go up there and sell some. I love being in that community. There's 6 miles of horse trail, 2 to 5 acre lots. They're mostly wooded. You can clear them if you want. So the house that I did a tour in they're beautiful, beautiful, beautiful homes. And the house that I did, the first house that I was in, you couldn't even see your neighbors.
Oh, heaven.
Couldn't see your neighbors.
Heaven.
In a gated community, light HOA, $1,500 a year. You can keep a boat behind a fence. You can keep an RV behind a fence. You can keep trailers behind the fence.
Exactly.
Where the CDD, some of the other community, I mean, you don't have that on a 1/4 acre lot or an 1/8 of an acre lot. You don't have room to put your camper back there or put your
Yep.
boat back there. I love it. I would go back over there. Like I said,
The worst thing
talked
about the
moving.
small lots to me is you can hear your neighbor, passing gas.
Yeah.
You know,
On some of the builders, they can.
Some
On
of the
you can't,
builders
yeah.
have widened things out, but some of them are just
So
stamped
close together, yeah.
so close together. It's like 6 feet.
And something else that I noticed driving around, and I should have spent a little bit of time collecting some footage after Milton
Yeah.
on. There's some builders that had more damage than others.
Yeah.
So if you're considering new construction, let's talk about some of those builders, because
You want to make sure you know what builders to go with, and that's not something we can talk about on air.
Yeah, we
but
have
that's
to
something that we can
have a
cover.
conversation.
Have a conversation
right,
with you,
yeah, because that
help you to determine that.
the same neighborhood, same location, new construction with blue tarps.
Yeah, I've seen them. I've been there. I've seen them. I've seen
And
them.
it's just one side of the community. The other side,
Yeah.
maybe a shingle or two, but a blue tarp on a new construction house is,
That sucks.
yeah, it's not the best. So, yeah, again, not bashing on anybody. It could have been a bad contractor. Could have been a bad batch of shingles
Could have been
or
anything.
something. Yeah,
It could have been
a lot,
anything.
but
But you still have to be
you
careful.
see what it is.
You still have to be
You still have to
careful.
be careful. Home inspection, stuff like that. Yeah, how we going? Any questions? No more questions. Yeah, we're still good on time. What else? More Winter Haven? We talked about Winter Haven? What else you
Well,
want
we
about
haven't
Winter
talked a
Haven?
whole lot about Winter Haven.
Yeah.
We kind of got off to a different track.
Yeah, we did.
So we
like the
talked
ramp.
a little bit about what shopping was like in Winter
Yeah.
Haven.
We jump back over
but-
to a map, or do we need to talk about a particular area? Let me go here and click this.
Okay.
And bring us back over here.
So we talked a little bit about what shopping was like. You've got if you've got young kids, you've got Legoland.
Oh, yeah.
Legoland has the Peppa Pig attraction, which is for the little guys, 4 or 5 years
Right here.
old. Then you've got the regular Legoland. They're actually building an aquarium.
Yep, we talked about
We
that.
talked
on
about that last
the other
time.
channel.
Yeah.
We're Thursdays, 7 o'clock.
Right
This
here.
channel.
Right here.
I'm not
Both
going to
of us.
abandon the other channel like I abandoned you guys for 115 days or whatever it was. I'm here. We're just not only going to talk about Lakeland. So this is not a Lakeland only channel anymore. But yeah, a lot of stuff going on here. You got the water park right here. Wave pool, the slides. And something a lot of people might not know about is there's a Florida pool that they're not using, but there's big Lego figurines all around this Florida pool.
Cool.
We see that because this is on
You
the
have to go
Chamber
there by
Lakes.
boat, though.
You have to go there by boat. They do have a tour that runs through. You can get on one of their little boats and come. They kind of tour you around back here, but a lot of people coming to Legoland because there's a lot going on right there. And
They've also got ski shows.
they do. Yep, that's right here, the Pirate Ski Show. And if you look at this, that looks like an alligator back. That's old tires. They're not here anymore. But I grew up running back and forth on these tires watching the Cypress Garden Ski Show. They're not here anymore. Legoland doesn't really want you to anchor up, but we do it anyway and watch the ski show. But yeah, you can come out here. That's not here. There's a bunch of stuff out here that says no anchoring or no boats past this point. We just stay behind there and
Right.
What are they gonna do? Arrest us? But yeah, tons of stuff going in here. I don't know where the aquarium's gonna go, but Peppa Pig Park is there. Not to,
Yeah, they had an old roller coaster that I think they're going to tear down. I see it every time I go by there in
right
the back.
here. It kind of runs right here, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're going to be tearing that down and using that for
Using that area. As
using that area for
aquarium, that'd be
something
cool.
else.
I might have to go to Legoland. I'm a big sucker for aquariums, so I'm gonna have to go check it out.
Well, it beats having to drive all the way to Tampa for the
Yeah,
Tampa
Go
Aquarium.
to Channel Side to see the Florida Aquarium.
The Florida
Aquarium.
Florida.
But that's a cool thing. Don't not do it if you're looking to come here. That's a cool little day trip to pop over there.
Oh yeah.
They've got everything in there. Really cool. Yeah, but a big draw to Winter Haven, if you're outdoorsy, is the Channel Lakes.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It's
So the Channel Lakes is what, 18 different lakes?
It's a total of 24.
24.
But there's a north chain and a south chain. So the south chain is Lake Winterset right here, goes to Lake Eloise, gets Lake Summit, gets Lake Lulu, gets Lake Roy, Lake Ship, Lake May, Lake Howard, Lake Cannon, Lake Spring, or Lake Mirror, Lake Spring, Lake Ottawa, Lake Jessie, Lake Hartridge. And then there's a lock right here that you can go through and get to the north chain. And then there's a handful of lakes that you can get to up here. Not as popular because there's no restaurants or anything on the south chain. You can come over here to Lake May and go, where are we? A little bit farther down here. Twisted Prop is here, Old Man Frank's, Tanner's Lakeside. There's always live
There's
music.
all right there.
A ton of stuff going
And
on.
all of these lakes are interconnected.
Yep,
So they're
there's a canal,
interconnected.
yep,
You can take a boat and just run through the whole day. Spend the whole day just
You
touring
can
around.
ski. You can hit the restaurants. They also serve adult beverages. So if you're into that, you can do that.
Yep.
You can come through over here. The only thing, you have to have the right boat because some of these canals have a 7 foot. It depends on the water levels in the lakes, but 7 to 8 feet typical clearance from the water. It depends on how much rain we've had. And then another one here. This is a little bit more.
I mean, most
fine
small
dining,
boats are
is
going to be
Harborside.
able to get through there.
Yeah.
If you've got a huge boat, you
Yeah.
may have to kind of watch
Center
yourself.
console with the T-top might not be able to go. Depends
Yeah.
on how much rain we've had. But if you're moving here and during the summer you're out here on Lake Winterset, especially Little Lake Winterset right here, you might see me. My wife and I might be out here, friends grilling on the pontoon boat, having a good old day. Don't get mad if we have a couple drinks. That's what we like to do, is come out
And
here.
if you're on Lake Summit or Lake Roy, you may see me because I fish those lakes quite a bit.
Lots of fishing going on in here. So that Lake Ship is the Lake Ship boat ramp right here is the largest. And if I'm trying to slowly click, I clicked too fast. The
You
largest
got to
boat
slow
ramp.
down, man. You got to
Trying.
slow down.
Trying. I had an energy drink. Huge boat ramp. Like this whole
Oh, yeah.
thing is there. Now the downside to this one is there's no real beach. So if you wanted to like grill out with family or have a park,
Right.
I have a solution to that. But this is where the most parking is. There's a little pavilion. There's a men's and a women's room. So if you got to go, you can come back here. But if you're looking for more of the beach, if you come across Lake Ship, there's Lake Ship Park, where you can see the parking is much lower. There's not as much, but there is playground and there is all of this where you can just beach your boat or your jet skis or whatever. There's only one little ramp, so you can see there's quite the difference
Right.
in parking and launching. But you know, there's people with
You've got
pop-up
the-
tents, and they're
Exactly.
grilling, and the kids are playing, having a good time. So if you don't want to be in the boat the whole time, you can do that. And there's a couple other boat ramps, but there's not a ton. I think there's 6 boat ramps on the chain, but most people just go to Lake Ship because there's so
It's
much,
the biggest
there's so
one.
much parking, and it's, you know, there's, what is it, like 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. You can easily launch 8, really 12 if you want to get in the middle. But there's just so much room. That's where we put in, so you could probably see me there too. Marine Supply is right down the road, so if you're on the chain or you live on the chain, you can come over here to Lake May. They sell fuel here right by Twisted Prop. You can actually keep your boat in the marina. They can put it in for you. You know, it's all right here. So
That's what I love about being a kayak fisherman. I don't have to
you don't
worry
have to
about
do that.
So
Yeah,
if
you don't have to do that.
If there's a little bit of grass, I can just launch and go.
Yep. There's parks around up here that you can go to. So a lot of options. But that's a big draw for outdoorsy people about Winter Haven is that chain. I've even got, you know, friends over in Lakeland that are, when the weather gets right, you know, coming out of the spring and the water temperatures are up a little bit, where us Floridians can swim. You know, if you're coming from up north, you're going to laugh at us, but until the water gets close to 80, I don't
You don't want to get in.
Yeah, I don't want to get in it. But when it does,
A little too cold.
all the people are like, "Hey, when's the pontoon boat going to start running on the weekends?" So yeah, I mean, we have a lot of growth coming in out here, and a lot of that is due to Legoland. I know there's 3 humongous apartment complexes coming in right here, and that's just, you know, the population's coming in, so that's going to bring new restaurants, it's going to bring new shops.
And we're already starting to see that. We're already starting to
for
see
sure.
new restaurants come in.
Yep.
We're starting to see new business come in, and there are in the what is it, Lake? Is it Helena or Helena Road that
Yep.
goes that
Right
goes
over
around
here.
the back end of
at Lake Eloise.
yeah, that's it. There's all kinds of older established communities that are super nice. Some of them are gated.
Yep.
They're just beautiful communities.
Actually, some of the most expensive homes are right here in
Exactly.
Renaissance and in Wyndham.
Lake
right
Ruby.
Here. Yep, Ruby Lake's got a lot.
Ruby Lake.
Windsor Oaks is right here. There's some non-gated communities. Then over here into this one, I'm drawing a blank on this one. Eloise Point Estates. Skidmore is right over here. You have Harbor Estates, another really pretty community. I mean, there's a ton of them. I don't really have any videos for these because they're all different. I mean, they've all been remodeled. They're older.
Oh, yeah, they're
so
older.
they've gone through the process of now they have new roofs probably, or maybe they need another new roof.
Those are what we were talking about when it comes to retail.
Yeah.
They're not brand new homes.
Yeah, they're not
but
brand new.
But
But-
if that's something that you want,
You know,
that's still something that we can help you
some
with.
of
And
them
they're
are.
beautiful homes.
Yeah, some of them are brand new. So you can find every now and then a lot. I mean, there's a couple lots here. I did a video on this house right here. I think it was on the other channel. I can't keep it up. I've got so many videos on that channel. Gonna do better for this channel because I was trying to keep it Lakeland. Now this is gonna be Central Florida, so I need to send everybody from the Haven Realty channel over here because this is where it's all going to be now. But even here, gated, we have villas, townhomes, and single-family homes on the, what side is that? Northeast side of Winterset, gated, guarded, well, virtual guard, but all sorts of options. And then you can get out here. One of my actual favorite communities is right here, Emerald Palms. Absolutely beautiful. I would love a house right here if I had $2 million. That's it. I have some footage I'll put into a new video and put it on this channel showing, I think it was this house right here, just absolutely stunning. On the sunset side of Lake Winterset, in my opinion, on the chain of lakes, doesn't get any better than that sunset side of Lake Winterset. We're right over here, but you know you gotta have $2 million to get involved there. But that's my favorite lake, if you can't tell. So sorry to steal a show. What else did you have that you want to talk about on Winter Haven?
You know what? I'm kind of drawing a blank right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you've got areas like the Lake Rochelle area, which is the upper part of the chain. There's a lot of building going on. There's a lot of stuff going on. When you look at where things are, and as far as shopping and everything else, that south side of Winter Haven tends to have that
Southeast.
yeah,
Southeast
you
for
have
sure.
much more stuff.
Yep.
Now you've got the Havendale part, which
I grew up
that's
on
more
Havendale,
more industrial. It's more your like what do you call it, Harbor Freight, and
Yeah, well, that's more in Arbordale, but there's a lot over there. I grew up right over there.
and you're right, it is Auburndale. I was in Auburndale today, so
Yeah,
my
that's
mind is,
on
I'm
the
trying to
train,
get back and forth between Winter Haven and Auburndale,
Yeah.
and it ain't clicking.
Yeah. So one that I'm most excited about, you've been to, Harmony at Lake Eloise.
Yep.
New construction, and it's eventually going to. We're in phase 1 and 2 right here, and all of this is going to be, all this old
It's
orange grove is
huge.
being ripped out, but it's going to be on Lake Eloise, across the lake from Legoland. I was out. Have you seen? When was the last time you were out there?
What now?
When was the last time you were out there at Harmony? last
Probably
time?
about 3 weeks ago.
Did
4 weeks
Did Lori
ago.
show you the preliminary drawings for the community center?
Oh yeah, that
Two-
is
two-story-
the lagoon.
2-story with retail, the pool.
Oh,
ride.
okay, yeah,
It
with that
is-
huge pool.
Yeah, it's going to be right in here. It is going to be nuts.
Oh, it's going to be
gonna
monster.
absolutely nuts. It's going to be a long time,
Yeah, it's going to be a while.
but this community in Winter Haven with the lake access, there's supposed to be a boat ramp. It's supposed to be a boat dock on the chain. There's not a new community on the chain that, I mean, you could buy in Emerald Palms. There's a couple lots. You're going to have to spend $2 million. You can get in this community. They have some row homes under 300, and that'll give you access to that amenity center that is really going to rival a lot of the stuff in like Orlando and like the things called Watersong is one that they were comparing to,
Yep.
where it's going to be like resort style living where you don't even have to go anywhere except
Yeah,
for to go
all the
to,
shopping's there.
yeah, they're going to send you right up here to Publix, and this plaza, you're just going to cruise right around here, go up here to Publix, but all your shopping's right on there. You're not going to have to go far to get anything.
Do you remember how many homes they're going to put in?
I think it's 1,200.
Oh, I thought it was 18, so it's 1,200.
Yeah, I think it's 1,600 acres, 1,200 homes.
That's what it is. Okay.
It's going to be all around here. They're building in here. There's already one pool right here on this retention pond that's done, and it is open, so you could move in, have access to the pool. The row homes are all in here. You can see some people are already starting to put their businesses in here, so this is happening already.
Oh yeah.
I think
And you're going to have lake access, and Lake Eloise is really nice, man.
and it's huge.
It's
I mean,
huge.
It's a big
It's
lake.
probably one of the biggest
and
lakes around.
It's on the chain, the biggest, and it's on the chain, so you can run to a smaller lake if you want. You can sneak down here to the little Lake Eloise that nobody even really knows because it's hidden down here behind Skidmore. You can, leave there, go up to Lake May and Twisted Prop or Tanner's. I mean, we've
Yep.
watched wrestling, Thunder Wrestling Coalition, on the pontoon boat at Tanner's.
Right.
You go up there, and we were just out doing a sunset cruise and heard something going on. We went over there, and they're wrestling. They got a wrestling ring set. They got the whole thing, and it was hilarious. And we stayed there till 10 o'clock when the show was over, and then came on home. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff. So you could do that. If you lived over here on the chain, you could take off, go see that, go home, not even get in a car. Pretty cool. Lots of options there. Have talked about that a lot on the other channel, but yeah, so I'll get into doing some more of that on here, and we're full in Lakeland. Kendrick says we're full. I'm sorry, they're coming. People are coming. The secret is out. There is so much where everybody's coming over here. I kind of miss driving through like Davenport or Winter Haven or going over to Lakeland and driving past a bunch of cows in orange groves.
Yeah, I do too.
Sure. Yeah. Go to Lake Wales.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Go to
Lake
Fort
Wales,
Meade.
Fort Meade. Yeah, down
There's
past
plenty of
Bartow.
places to go to, but that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Because not everybody wants to be in the middle of town.
Right.
Some people want to be a little bit further away, and there's options for you if you want to build a home. We have builders that we can work with.
Mm-hmm.
But the new homes that they're coming out with in areas like this, like the ones that we just talked about off of Lake Eloise. They're phenomenal.
They are.
They're absolutely phenomenal, and they're a great way to move in and settle in without having to go through a lot of garbage.
I was this week out showing houses on the east side of Tiger Lake.
Okay.
Where you drive by, I mean, you're out on 60 and nothing. And you're out here and just nothing. So you can, Lakeland is not going to get less full.
No, it's not.
I mean,
It's going to spread.
Yeah, it's going to spread and it's going to get worse. So if you want to sell in Lakeland and move out to where it's more quiet, we're here to help.
We're here to help.
The gates have been opened, and just the area between Tampa and Orlando is not going to slow down. It's not so much where if you're out here in Polk City, Auburndale, there is Fantasy of Flight.
Yep.
Kermit Weeks owns that, and I remember growing up and driving out there going to Lakeland and seeing a sign that said Orlampa, welcome to Orlampa. I was like, what is Orlampa? I get it now. This was when I was 16. I'm 40 now.
Yeah.
Or he saw that coming together, and
you realize how old you just made me feel.
Yeah, well, it's all right. But I'm just saying, that long ago, Kermit was like, it's gonna be.
But it's true. It's been for 20 years. It's been like that.
Yep.
They've been talking about building that area up and making it a bridge between Tampa and Orlando.
Yep.
And now it's happening, but it's not Orlampa. It's just the Lakeland, Winter Haven, Auburndale, and Davenport area.
Haines
then you
City.
got Haines City,
Yep.
exactly.
Dundee, geez, I remember driving through Dundee and there was nothing. And they're building homes starting in the 300s out there. And then
Exactly.
here, this whole I-4 and Polk Parkway, or 570, out here, there's 3,000 acres that they've dubbed the Innovation District. That'll be probably a conversation for another video. Florida Polytechnic is out there.
Yep.
And they are going to bring in a whole bunch of like solar research and just a whole lot of stuff. They have SunTrax right here. This is where they're testing autonomous cars. And you can see all of they've got like bumpy roads and curvy roads where they even have a rain simulator right here. These are rain simulators where it dumps a whole bunch of water on the cars to try and confuse them.
Every time I drive by, I see all of it.
Something's going on out there. Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's what the Innovation District is really. It's a combination of Polk County, Lakeland, and Auburndale trying to keep more of the high-paying jobs here to attract people that are, maybe getting educated here at
I
Florida
know, because
Polytechnic.
I just spoke to a customer yesterday whose husband is going to be applying, or actually is applying at Polytechnic.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff going on out here. Construction's happening, and they have restricted. There is some like Amazon warehouses and stuff coming in, but in the actual Innovation District, they're being pretty strict about what they're allowing in and what they're not. I'd even heard rumors from somebody that was talking to somebody on planning at Auburndale that the Auburndale side of things, they were trying to build something that was similar to Disney Springs. And I heard talk about Topgolf going in there.
That'd be cool.
Probably not going to happen with the whole bankruptcy thing that Topgolf's going through.
That would not help.
Yeah, that's not good. But that's all coming out right here in little old Polk County.
Well, it depends if they're bankrupt and they're restructuring their finances.
Maybe.
Then maybe, because they'll bleed off the ones that don't work, and then develop the ones that do, or the ones they think they will.
So a lot of options coming in out here, but I've got a backlog of footage from the other channel that I'm going to bring back in and show. I mean, I've been to Dr. Phillips. I've been to Hudson. Well, the Hudson stuff was here. I've been to Plant City. I've done some stuff in Tampa. I'm just trying to broaden what we're looking. I was so laser focused right here. A lot of you guys are like, well, I'm going to go more over this way. I really, really like up here in San Antonio, the Mirada Lagoon. Where are we? Right here. This is spectacular. 15-acre pool.
Isn't that amazing?
15-acre pool. 6 builders. Price range from $300,000 to $1 million, 3 or 4. So you can get a little bit of everything. I'm probably gonna do this video for you guys on this channel next week because I don't think I have it here. I have to. they're kind of blurry. I think this one was on the other one. But if you are coming down here, and we talk a lot about sharks and alligators, I get asked a lot when you guys call and you're like, hey man, I'm coming down. Kind of worried if you're talking about being over on the coast, more about sharks, but you're talking about the lakes and the chain. Hey, I've heard about alligators. There is not going to be an alligator in this sucker in 15
Not in
acres.
15 acres of water.
15 acres. 15 acres, if they're building 8 homes per acre, they could have put like 100 homes right here.
Yep.
That's how big, like 15 acres, like, oh, okay, 15 acres.
No,
Until
it's a lot.
until you see it, that doesn't make any sense. Like, here's some people. Like, look at the people. They're like little ants. Reminds me of the Zoolander. What is this, a school for ants?
It's true.
And they've got a little island up here. They've got the playground. Gonna get some more, do a fresh video out here. All the builders are out here. Townhomes, villas, single family, courtyard homes, just north of Tampa. This is a huge thing. Epperson Lagoon is also not far from here. 5 acre lagoon, too small. It's been here longer. They're building another one down towards Parrish. So we're going to get out here and cover all this. So if you're not subscribed, if this got suggested to you, hit that subscribe button. Going to be bringing you stuff weekly on what's going on, basically all the way over to the coast here, up to Orlando, just all of this Central Florida area, all along I-4. We've been here, we know it. You guys have questions, I've helped you guys. You call, hey, I want to be near this. Okay, well, you don't want to be over there then. You want to be over here.
Ben grew up in Winter Haven. I grew up in Tampa.
Yeah.
I lived in Lakeland for over 30 years. Now I'm in Winter Haven. I've been all over. Ben's been all over. We know the area.
Spent all, like, going up to Orlando, that's go up to iDrive, or used to be called Pleasure Island up at Disney. Now it's Disney
Yep.
Springs. I've been all over this whole area. I mean, I remember going up here, driving up to Clearmont through on 27, and this was just like all
Nothing.
orange groves. And
Yeah,
now
there was
it's
nothing.
just coming in here so fast.
But that's how the area is going to be,
Yeah.
and eventually it'll bleed off into
Yeah.
whether it's Fort Meade or whatever. At some point, whether it's now or 20 years from now, it's going to keep growing.
Yeah, that's just, I'm sorry that you think Lakeland's full. I could argue, yeah, because traffic on South Florida, especially by downtown, is terrible because they did that road diet and it's one lane. Dumb. That was dumb.
That was dumb.
But, it's not getting any better, and they are working on some roads, but it is going to be tough. And it's just, I feel like maybe we've had it too good for too long because nobody really realized what was going on, and now a lot of people are getting priced out of Orlando or Tampa, even Miami. I've had a bunch of people call from Miami, hey, I can't do this anymore. I am not doing it. West Palm, they're just, everybody's over it.
But you've got to kind of look at things a little bit differently. I had one customer that I talked to a couple of days ago. She had come into Winter Haven. She wanted to go to a restaurant. This was her big thing. The line was huge, and I'm like, okay, it was a good restaurant. That means you're probably going to get a really good meal.
Right. Yep.
But her thing was, well, I don't want to go someplace or live someplace where I have to wait an hour to get into a restaurant. Well, maybe you don't want to go to that restaurant during the time where everybody else is
5
going.
o'clock on a Friday
There's
night or
all
whatever,
kinds of ways to deal with that. We have traffic issues right now. They're going to get ironed out at some point. You just have to look at the good, and take it a little bit of the bad with it.
On my pros and cons video here, I just responded to a comment. They're like, this doesn't make any sense because this is basically every city everywhere.
Right.
And it was traffic. Like, yeah, traffic's bad everywhere.
It's traffic.
It's just now, what used to be where maybe going from out past Legoland, 27 at Cypress Gardens Boulevard, I could get from 27 to 17 on Cypress Gardens Boulevard in 5 minutes, and now it takes 12 minutes.
Right.
Traffic.
Right.
It's not hours to go anywhere.
It's not hours. It's not LA. It's not Miami.
Yeah.
It's not Tampa. Trust me, if you ever want to enjoy traffic, get to Malfunction Junction, which is I-4 and 275, and sit there for 20 minutes trying to figure out when you're going to be able to go to wherever you've got to get to.
Yeah, and it's not bad right now, but right
Yeah,
here,
but look what time it is.
75. Yeah, it's
An hour ago, this would have been red all the way through.
Yep. And then over here, it probably is still red up by Lake
27.
Buena Vista, Disney Springs, all that Celebration up here by Disney.
Yep.
This, I think, always has traffic. There's always traffic.
Yeah.
But you know, you can take 417 around that. You can. There's different ways. 429 takes you all the way around the other way. So there's
ways to get around
you
it.
just have to
but
know.
Orlando and Tampa both have a lot of traffic because they've got millions of people.
Yep.
Lakeland has what now? 115,
I think
125?
They're probably. I think that's Winter Haven. I think Lakeland's over 250,000.
Now it's over a quarter
I
million.
think we're over
So
250,000 in Lakeland.
yeah, so you've got a lot more people in Tampa and Orlando. Yeah, we've got more than we did 3 or 4 years ago here, but
You know what else has more than it did back then? Tampa and Orlando. Everybody's coming in there. It's just absolutely crazy.
yeah,
The amount of people coming in here, and you know, I don't think it's going to slow down. If you really want to be somewhere where there's nobody around you, you got to come out here to
around Lake
Okeechobee or
Yep.
you know, Zolfo Springs or Wauchula. I mean, even Arcadia, driving down through. Now this is a really pretty drive. I like driving down here because
I love
it's
it.
nice going down to like Port Charlotte.
but there's nothing out there.
There's nothing out there.
Nothing but gators, skeeters,
Yeah.
deer, and hogs.
Mm-hmm. That's it. And getting over here, Brandon, and all that. You know, there's a lot. But we've been going on here way longer than I thought. You see what time it was? You should have told me that it was time to shut this thing down.
I've been There
That
we go.
computer. 8:08. No questions. Haven't had any questions. We're back on what used to be called the Living in Lakeland channel. Now Living in Central Florida because we ran out of stuff to talk about. And as you can see, when we're talking about all of Central Florida, we can just talk.
we
and
have
talk
a lot
and
to talk about. A lot
So,
to talk about.
if you have something you want us to talk about next Thursday, shoot me an email down below. Leave a comment on here because this video will stay up. Drop a comment on the video and say, hey, talk about this area or talk about that area or what's in Zephyr Hills. Because we're going to get to all that and talk about all the little suburbs of all the cities and you know the pros and cons of why you might want to be in Plant City or why you might not want to be in Plant City unless you really like strawberries, because the Strawberry Festival is a huge thing in Plant City. You know,
And chat with us. Chat with us when we're online.
Yeah,
You
come
know,
in.
you can talk to us just like you talk to anybody else.
Yeah, we're here to help, be a resource for your move. It doesn't matter if you're moving here next week or if you're moving here in a couple years and you just kind of want to get an idea. This is what we do full time, here to help you guys. We're accessible. Our phones are always here. No text messages. It's late. But we answer our phones. We're here to help you guys. So we'll see you next week.